Revelation chapter 1, verse 1. The revelation of Jesus Christ, which God gave unto him to shew unto his servant things which must surely come to pass.
Stop there, stop there. So it says the revelation. So see, my phone's in my pocket right now, right? You don't know what type of phone I have in my pocket until I pull it out, right? Until I reveal it to you, then you get the truth of what's in my pocket, right? Cool, continue. Go verse 14.
Verse 14. His hair were white like wool.
Stop there. His head and his hairs were white like wool. Who has woolly texture hair on the earth today?
A sheep.
A sheep, yeah. But as a people, if you looked at people's hairs around the world today, who has woolly texture hair? Say it again.
Black people.
Black people, right? Okay, so that's strike one for this guy, yeah? Strike one. He doesn't have white, woolly texture hair, yeah? The Jesus you told me that you said that was Jesus, right? Yeah? Strike one, we agree?
Sure.
Strike one, yeah? Strike one, yeah, say it. Okay, cool, continue.
As white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire.
And his eyes were like a flame of fire. Go to Genesis. So his eyes were like a flame of fire. Do you know what Christ's first miracle was?
Was it when he healed a blind man? Or
Okay, that was one. What was his first one? Can you think of any others?
When he calmed the storm.
Okay, that was another one. Have you heard of the one where he turned water into wine? That was a good one, right? So that was, Christ was drinking wine in moderation. Do you know what happens to black people's eyes when they drink a little bit? It goes a little bit yellowish, reddish, yeah? So that's what it's talking about, the flame of fire. Read that in Genesis.
That's the book of Genesis 49, chapter 49, verse 12. His eyes shall be red with wine, and his teeth white with milk.
There you go. His eyes will be red and white. That was a prophecy in the beginning, Genesis. So Christ is from the beginning to the end of the book, right? So let's continue in the Revelations. Let's get more descriptions so we can get more strikes on this guy here that you call Jesus. Continue.
Verse 15. And his feet like unto fine brass.
Stop there. Do you know what color brass is?
green.
Brass.
Silver.
Is it brown?
It's brown, yeah. Do you ever see in an orchestra, they have trumpets and all that stuff? That's made out of brass, like a 2-cent coin, 5-cent coin. I don't think we see a lot of them these days, but that color is that color of brass, like a copper color, okay? Continue.
As if they burn in the furnace.
As if they burn in the furnace. Have you sisters ever cooked anything before?
Yeah.
What happens when you burn something when you're cooking? What color does it become?
Black.
Say it again.
Black.
There we go. Continue.
And his voice as the sound of many waters.
So his voice like the sound of many waters. He wasn't a sissy boy. He had a strong voice like many waters, like a deep voice. Our people have that deep voice as well, big bass voices, yeah? Continue. Go to Daniel 10 and 5 and 6, yeah? So we're going to get that in the book of Daniel as well. So we have throughout the Bible descriptions of Jesus. So have you ever been to church before?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen an image of Jesus like this that's we're reading today? No, right? So the truth has been hidden from us. The truth of how Christ is depicted in the Bible has been hidden from us. And it's been hidden from us on purpose. Have you got that in Daniel?
Yeah, I got Daniel. That's the book of Daniel, chapter 10, verse 5. Then lift up my eyes and looked, and behold, a certain man clothed in linen, whose loins were girded with fine gold of Aphas.
So stop there. So Daniel looked up and saw, physically, he saw a person with a gold belt and fine linen, like a championship belt. Yeah? Continue.
Verse 6. His body also was like the beryl, and his face as the appearance of lightning, and his eyes as the lamp of fire.
Again, with the eyes like a lamp of fire. Remember, we went to Genesis to see that. We drank wine in moderation. Continue.
And his arm and his feet like in color to polished brass.
So now Daniel went a step further. He didn't just mention the feet, he mentioned the arms as well. So the same color of your feet is the same color of your arms, same color of the rest of your skin, correct?
Yeah.
Correct?
Correct.
Okay, cool. Finish that.
And the voice the voice of his words like the voice of multitudes.
Again, with that strong voice. Yeah, so that's what we're out here teaching. We're out here teaching that Christ is a black man. The greatest man to walk the earth was a black man. Now, that's not the only thing that was hidden from us through Bibles, through Christianity, all these religions. Do you know, if I asked you what country you're from now, what would you say to me?
Nigeria.
What would you say?
Nigeria.
Nigeria, right? So if I asked you to find Nigeria in the Bible, would you be able to find it?
I don't think so.
Nope.
No, right? So God created 18 nations, and you're part of one of those 18 nations. Now we're going to prove to you, or you're going to prove to yourself, if you're part of this nation that we're mentioning right now. Give me the book of Deuteronomy 1 and 1.
That's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 1, verse 1. This be the word which Moses spake unto all Israel.
Unto all Israel. So Moses is in the... Continue that one more sentence.
With all Israel on his side Jordan in the wilderness.
In the wilderness. So when Moses took the Israel out of Egypt into the wilderness, do you know what Israelites were doing in Egypt?
They're like looking for somewhere to. They're working.
Were they working? Were they getting paid for their work?
No.
So what were they doing? What? They were what?
Slaves.
Slaves, right? So let's continue. Go to verse 28 and 1.
Verse 28, chapter 1, verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which are commanded this day.
Stop there. So God says, if you observe, it'll come to pass if you observe and do the commandments in this Bible. What will happen? Continue.
That the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
So read that last part again. Above what?
That the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all the nations of the earth.
Of all the nations of the earth. So in the world today, everyone is preaching equality. They're saying everyone is equal. But in the Bible, we'll see that if a nation keeps the commandments, he's going to set them on high. God himself is going to set them on high above all nations, okay? Jump to verse 15.
Verse 15, but it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God,
If you won't hearken, pay attention.
to observe to do all his commandments, and his statutes are commanded this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
Can I ask you a question? Is curses a good thing or a bad thing?
A bad thing.
Bad thing.
A bad thing. So if you don't follow the words of God, all these curses shall come upon thee. Jump to 32. So we're going to get examples of these curses that are going to come upon you, yeah? Go, continue.
Verse 32, thy son and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
Stop there. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people. So have you any history of transatlantic slave trade or slave trade in Africa? Do you have any education or anything on that situation? You know about it a little bit, yeah? So the Bible's saying that thy sons and thy daughters will be given unto another people. Continue.
And thy eyes shall look and fare with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thy hand.
It says there shall be no might in their hand. So there's no military might. When our sons and daughters were taken from the land of Africa and brought around in ships around the world, did we have the strength to get them back?
No.
No, right?
No.
Continue, verse 33.
Verse 33, the fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up.
So it says the fruit of thy land and thy labors, another nation is going to come there and take it from you. In Nigeria, do you have any mineral resources like gold, oil, all these things?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have?
Mhm.
Yeah. Do the people of Nigeria benefit from that stuff?
No, not really.
No, right?
No.
All right, so that's one of the curses, okay? So we're going to get more. Continue.
And thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed always.
And in these lands, in this land here that you're here in Ireland, are we oppressed? In your opinion?
I think so, yeah.
In your opinion? Yeah? Okay, go to verse 41.
Verse 41, thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them,
Because
for they shall go into captivity.
they shall go into captivity. What's another word for captivity?
Like being held, I don't know.
Yeah, so as the Israelites were in Egypt, they were captives in Egypt. And what were they?
Slaves.
Slaves,
Slaves.
Slaves, Go to verse 44.
Verse 44, he shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him.
Stop there. So it says they shall lend to thee, and we don't lend to them. When you open a bank account, is it a black owned bank that you're opening it with?
No.
No.
Even in Nigeria, do you think the Nigerian banks are owned by Nigerian people?
Maybe some.
No, they're centralized. So the IMF controls the banking system in Nigeria. If you Google, it'll be the IMF. Yeah. Continue. Is that the end?
He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail.
So things are going to be reversed, just like in 28 and 1. He says we're going to be set up on high if we keep the commandments. He says these curses, if we don't keep them, we're going to be at the bottom. Verse 46. So we're going to find out why.
Verse 46. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder.
So it says, they shall be for a sign. So see that Mr. Donut there? See that shop there? You see the sign on the door? Do you think that they sell pizzas in there?
No.
No, right? Because the sign lets you know what's going on there, gives you the indication, yeah? So that's what the Bible is going into. These curses shall be a sign upon our people that we are the people depicted in the Bible. And that's the people, that is the children of God, the Israelites in the Bible, okay? Go to 48.
Verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemy.
Wait, who? You shall serve who?
Shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee.
Again, so that's one of the curses. We broke the commandments. God is going to send enemies. Let me ask you a question. Are enemies going to be people as well, or are they going to be imaginary ghosts or anything like that?
It could be anything. Like spirit.
No, it's not going to be spirits. So the people who took us from our land, were they spirits?
People.
They were
Humans.
people, right? They were people?
Yeah.
They were people. Okay, continue.
And in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness.
So it says in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness. When you want to go to buy food, I'm sure you're going to eat out today, yeah, later on, yeah? When you buy food, is it from African-owned companies like Nando's and McDonald's? Are they African-owned?
No.
No. Are they African-owned?
Nando's is actually.
It's African-owned? Who owns it?
It's the South Africans.
Okay, but on the large scope of things, is that a common thing that you see?
No.
Okay, continue.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee.
You missed that part. That was a very important one. Say that one again.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee.
So he's going to put a yoke of iron upon thy neck. Open up the flyer there. You see the back? On the inside, yeah, you have it on the back there, on the very back, yeah. You have this image here. So very descriptive by the Bible. It says, it shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. So when he puts that yoke of iron upon that neck, did that happen to all nations on the earth?
No.
Did you ever see pictures like this of the Chinese or... No, right?
No.
Yeah. Okay, and then it says, until he has destroyed thee. Do you know when you're destroyed?
Yeah.
I'll give you an example of when how you know if you're destroyed. So when I asked you where you're from, what did you say?
Nigeria.
Okay, that's how you know you're destroyed. Because now you've been taken away from your God-given heritage, and then you landed into a man-given heritage, yeah? Let's continue. Go to 68.
Verse 68. Deuteronomy 28 and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
Stop there. So when I asked you what we were doing in Egypt, you said?
Slave.
Slaves?
Slave.
So he's going to bring us back into that slavery again.
With ships.
With what?
With ships.
With what?
With ships.
With ships, yeah? Transatlantic slave trade. What people did that happen to? Did that happen to our people? Did that happen to everybody?
Our people.
Our people, Our people. Continue.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. And there you shall be sold unto your enemies.
Shall be what?
You shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen
For slave men
and bondwomen.
and slave women. See, the Bible is telling us who we are through these signs in Deuteronomy. And this is the first time you're hearing this, correct?
Correct.
Correct. Why do you think that is? Why do you think this is the first time you're hearing this?
It was hidden.
Huh?
It was hidden.
It was hidden? Say it loud.
It was hidden.
It was hidden?
Yeah, it was hidden.
It was hidden. Hidden by who, in your opinion?
Person that wrote it. I don't know.
Hidden by the enemy.
By the enemies, right, right? And now Christ is coming back. Have you heard of the second coming of Christ? Luke 1:68. Have you heard of the second coming of Christ? And do you think Christ is coming to save everyone, including those enemies that had us in chains and in bondage?
No.
No, right? That's no?
No.
Okay, so let's find out why Christ is coming back.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 1, and verse 68. Verse 68, blessed be the Lord God of Israel, for he has visited and redeemed his people.
Say that.
For he has visited and redeemed his people,
His people. Yeah.
and has raised up an horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David, as he spake by the mouth of his holy prophet, which have been since the world began, that we should be saved from our enemies.
Say that again.
That we should be saved from our enemies,
We will be saved by our enemies.
and from the hand of all that hate us.
And all that hate us, all the nations that put us into captivity. It wasn't just one nation. It was a sub-Saharan slave trade. We brought you captivities from the beginning of time up till now. And the Christ is coming back to save his people from that situation, yeah? So, in closing, ladies, what have you learned today? Give us a quick recap of what you learned today.
Jesus is black. Yeah. And the enemy has hidden stuff that we need to know about Jesus coming back.
And
I learned that Jesus is black. And the enemy comes to kill, destroy, and deceive people.
We used to scream black power while Heron was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission, minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.